Hello friends. Have you ever met someone who just got you, yet also made you feel like you were constantly trying to solve a puzzle? That's what happens when a Libra man and an Aries woman lock eyes. This is not your typical love story, business deal, or casual friendship. No, this is a cosmic tug-of-war between the calm breeze and a wildfire. But is that tension the secret to a magnetic bond, or a recipe for disaster? Let's find out what really happens when air meets fire. From steamy love affairs to high-stakes partnerships, this deep dive explores every facet of Libra man and Aries woman compatibility: love, sex, marriage, friendship, and business. Buckle up. This journey through the zodiac isn't just about star signs, it's about understanding the raw, emotional dynamics of two very different but equally powerful personalities. Love compatibility, when opposites don't just attract, they collide. The Libra man is the zodiac's eternal romantic, the kind of person who lives for meaningful connections, artful expressions of love, and the subtle beauty of emotional balance. He's ruled by Venus, the planet of love, charm, and all things harmonious. Everything about him, his style, his voice, even the way he listens, has a gentle rhythm to it. He's not just gracious, he's intentional. He thrives on cooperation, always searching for common ground, even in moments of tension. His world is one where compromise is sacred and peace is golden. He idealizes partnership, often dreaming of a love that feels effortless, poetic, and quietly powerful. Whether it's thoughtful morning texts, shared playlists, or dinner lit by soft candlelight, Libra brings beauty to love like it's second nature. Now contrast that with the Aries woman, who doesn't walk into a room, she charges in. She's fire from the first glance, ruled by Mars, the red-hot planet of war, action, and assertion. She lives in motion, powered by instinct, independence, and bold ambition. In relationships, she wants connection, but on her own terms. She doesn't have time for subtlety or passive suggestion. If she wants something, or someone, she goes for it, no hesitation. She's courageous, competitive, and emotionally honest to a fault. The Aries woman expresses love not through prolonged emotional analysis, but through action. She shows up, takes initiative, and expects the same in return. And if she senses indecision or emotional distance, she doesn't chase, she bolts. So what happens when Venus meets Mars? What kind of love story unfolds when the peaceseeker falls for the warrior? Initially, it's electric. Libra is absolutely captivated by her energy. Her passion isn't just attractive, it's invigorating. For someone who tends to overthink every step in relationships, Aries offers a kind of emotional liberation. She says what she means, doesn't play games, and treats vulnerability like a badge of honor. To Libra, who can sometimes drown in indecision and subtle cues, her directness feels like truth. A kind of clarity he's rarely experienced. She's confident, unfiltered, and fully alive, and that intensity pulls him in like gravity. On her side, Aries is equally intrigued. Libra doesn't flinch at her intensity. He doesn't try to control her or shrink her power. In fact, he meets her heat with cool confidence, always composed, always a step ahead in the emotional game. His calm is not weakness, it's mastery. And that gets her attention. She starts to admire his grace under pressure, his ability to understand people on a deeper level, and his way of seeing beauty in things she might overlook. He's emotionally intelligent, socially savvy, and surprisingly strong-willed when it counts. Aries respects that, and respect is her love language. But then, inevitably, the contrast starts to show. Libra, in his quest for peace, will sometimes avoid difficult conversations. He doesn't like confrontation, and when things start to heat up, his instinct is to step back, analyze, and wait for emotions to cool. To him, timing and tone matter. He wants to resolve things gently, without harsh words or emotional chaos. Aries, however, doesn't wait. She believes conflict is a part of love, a way to clear the air and move forward stronger. She wants everything on the table, raw and real. So when Libra tries to smooth things over or delay a conversation, she reads it as disinterest, or worse, emotional dishonesty. What Libra sees as diplomacy, Aries sees as avoidance. And what Aries sees as passion, Libra can sometimes interpret as volatility. That's the core tension between them. He's trying to maintain balance, she's trying to ignite truth. And if neither adjusts, they fall into a cycle where Aries becomes louder, more demanding, and Libra retreats further into silence or polite deflection. The only path forward is growth. Real, uncomfortable, transformational growth. Libra must learn that love isn't always beautiful. Sometimes it's messy, unpredictable, and driven by emotions that don't fit neatly into a framework. He has to speak up more, stop editing his emotions for the sake of peace, and trust that Aries can handle the truth. In fact, she craves it. And Aries? She needs to realize that intensity doesn't always equal clarity. That sometimes, listening and slowing down aren't weaknesses, but strengths. She must give Libra space to process, without taking it as rejection. If they can do this, if they can lean into their discomfort and learn from each other, they'll discover a deeper kind of love. A relationship that doesn't flatten out their differences, but weaves them into something powerful. Aries teaches Libra how to take risks, how to lead, how to burn brighter. Libra teaches Aries how to refine her energy, how to listen without reacting, and how to build something that lasts. Sex compatibility, fire meets seduction. Okay, here's where things get very interesting, and a little dangerous in all the right ways. The sexual compatibility between a Libra man and an Aries woman reads like a steamy novel you can't put down: explosive chemistry, deep tension, and the possibility for unforgettable, soul-shifting intimacy. But also, a very real chance of misalignment if they're not willing to meet each other halfway. Let's start with Aries. She's a walking flame, ruled by Mars, the planet of passion, drive, and pure instinct. In the bedroom, she doesn't play coy. She's direct, primal, and utterly unapologetic about what she wants, and when she wants it. Which is usually now. Her approach to intimacy is fast, fierce, and emotionally raw. She's turned on by spontaneity, physical dominance, and intensity that feels just on the edge of chaos. She doesn't need mood music or silk sheets, though she might enjoy them if they don't slow her down. What really excites her is heat, motion, the sense that she and her partner are diving off an emotional cliff together, hearts racing, bodies leading the way. Then we have Libra. The romantic. The aesthetic. The seducer who paints intimacy with 1,000 strokes. Ruled by Venus, Libra approaches sex as an art form. For him, it's about more than release, it's about atmosphere, emotion, balance. He's all about the lead-up. The eye contact across the room. The light grazing of fingertips. The emotional dance of anticipation. He wants to connect before he devours. For Libra, foreplay isn't a warm-up, it's the main event. The lighting has to be just right. The energy between you. Harmonious. He seeks beauty and emotional rhythm, even during the most passionate encounters. So how do these two, one ruled by impulsive fire, the other by deliberate air, come together in bed? With incredible potential, and a few sparks of friction. In their best moments, they balance each other in a way that's nothing short of electric. Aries pushes Libra out of his head and into his body. She breaks the rules, tears down the decorum, and reminds him that not everything needs to be so carefully curated. That sometimes, sex should be messy, breathless, unplanned. And Libra? He teaches Aries the value of slowing down, of eye contact that lingers a second too long, of kisses that build like music crescendos. He shows her that connection can intensify pleasure, not slow it down. Together, they can create an experience that fuses raw animal magnetism with soul-deep romance. But here's the tension. Aries may start to feel that Libra overthinks the moment. That he's too gentle, too preoccupied with mood and balance, when she just wants to be thrown against the wall and kissed like the world's ending. His need for emotional harmony can, in her eyes, feel like hesitation, or worse, emotional detachment. She craves movement and fire. If he doesn't match her level of intensity, she may interpret it as a lack of desire. On the flip side, Libra might feel overwhelmed by Aries' dominant energy. While he admires her confidence, he could find her approach a little too aggressive, especially if she charges forward without creating emotional space. He wants to feel emotionally safe, desired in a way that feels intentional and affectionate, not just as a vessel for heat. If she skips the soft parts entirely, he may start to feel unseen or objectified. That's the tightrope they walk. She's fire, he's form. She initiates, he responds. And unless they communicate, honestly, patiently, and often, they can fall out of sync. But when they do sync, that's when the magic happens. Their sex life becomes an evolving story, not a fixed routine. Aries will initiate more, bringing unpredictability and excitement into their connection. Libra will counter with subtle seductions, new textures, emotional resonance. Together, they blend heat and harmony, spontaneity and sensuality. Their bedroom becomes a space where intensity meets intention. They'll learn to read each other better over time. Aries will discover that a pause, a breath, a whispered word can heighten her arousal instead of stalling it. Libra will learn that giving in to raw, instinctual passion doesn't erase intimacy, it deepens it. What begins as a clash of styles can become a fusion of two different kinds of desire, creating a chemistry that's not just sexual, but transformative. But they have to want to learn each other. If either partner insists on staying locked in their own approach, problems start to fester. Aries may begin to feel unfulfilled, like she's constantly pulling the weight of their passion. Libra may feel emotionally burned out, like he's offering depth but receiving only intensity in return. That disconnect can lead to a dry spell, or worse, resentment. Marriage, the long game of love. When a Libra man and an Aries woman stand side by side and say, "I do," what they're really committing to isn't just each other, it's the wild, unpredictable, deeply rewarding process of becoming better people through each other. This union isn't built on ease or sameness. It's built on tension, challenge, contrast, and, when done right, unshakable growth. These two are stepping into a lifelong classroom where the curriculum is emotional depth, mutual respect, and learning how to navigate life as a pair of opposites. The Aries woman enters marriage with passion, energy, and an unstoppable drive. She doesn't just want love, she wants movement, momentum, and a shared vision that feels electric. She's fearless when it comes to decision-making, and her natural instinct is to take charge when things feel uncertain. Whether it's managing finances, planning family vacations, or making career shifts, she's going to lead from the front. Her style of love is protective, proactive, and fiercely loyal. If she believes in the relationship, she'll fight for it with everything she has. But that fight can sometimes look like control. It's not that she wants to dominate, it's just that she genuinely believes her way is often the fastest, boldest, and most effective. Libra, in contrast, is the counterbalance. He brings calm where she brings urgency. He listens, processes, weighs perspectives, and considers the long-term implications of every decision. His contribution to the marriage is often quieter but no less powerful. He's the emotional mediator, the peacekeeper, and the glue that holds things together when tempers flare. His approach to love is slower, more deliberate. He wants both people in the relationship to feel equally heard and understood. His commitment shows in the little things, defusing an argument before it starts, adjusting plans to keep the peace, or intuitively knowing when to give space and when to offer comfort. Together, they form a unique polarity. Aries ignites, Libra balances. She pushes forward, he steadies the ship. She speaks her truth with fiery conviction, while he listens with graceful empathy. And when they respect those roles, when they stop trying to remake each other and start appreciating their differences, they become a marriage made not in heaven, but in the fires of real, grounded partnership. But marriage, of course, isn't always about balance. It's about conflict, pressure, compromise, and repair. And this is where their differences can either become their greatest strength, or their biggest stumbling block. Aries, for all her boldness, can sometimes barrel ahead without fully considering the emotional landscape around her. She wants results, resolution, and immediate action. So when a conflict arises, her natural instinct is to face it head-on. She's not interested in tiptoeing, she wants raw honesty, even if it's uncomfortable. Libra, however, instinctively resists that level of confrontation. His desire to keep the peace often leads him to suppress his real feelings or delay difficult conversations. He believes that time, space, and calm words are the best path forward, but to Aries, this can feel evasive or even emotionally distant. She's not afraid of the truth, she needs it. And if he withholds it, she begins to feel alone in the marriage, like she's doing all the emotional heavy lifting. And Libra, though deeply committed, can start to feel overwhelmed by Aries' intensity. He might begin to shut down, to retreat inward, or to become passive-aggressive instead of openly expressing his needs. When he's pushed too far or too fast, his natural response is to detach. That detachment, while meant to protect the peace, can come across to Aries as apathy or indifference. She needs engagement. She needs fire met with fire, not silence. And so, a vicious cycle can begin: the more she demands, the more he withdraws. The more he withdraws, the more she demands. To break that cycle, they have to choose vulnerability. Aries has to recognize that not every moment requires leadership or action. Sometimes, the bravest thing she can do is pause, open her heart, and listen without needing to fix. She must learn that letting Libra process doesn't mean he's avoiding her, it means he's preparing to respond in a way that's thoughtful, not reactive. And Libra, on his part, has to learn that silence is not always golden. That his wife doesn't need everything to be calm, she needs things to be real. Avoiding conflict might feel like love to him, but to her, love looks like truth, even if it's messy. When they do the work, when they sit in the discomfort and choose each other again and again, their marriage begins to evolve into something extraordinary. Aries keeps the relationship alive and vibrant, pushing them both to grow, to explore, to never settle for complacency. Libra ensures that love remains rooted in fairness, grace, and emotional safety. Friendship, the spark that starts it all. Before passion, before love, before the fireworks of romance, there's often a flicker of something quieter, more enduring: friendship. And between a Libra man and an Aries woman, that friendship starts fast and burns bright. It's not subtle or slow building. It's like meeting someone you didn't even know you were missing, and within minutes, realizing you found a mental and emotional match who challenges you, energizes you, and makes you laugh harder than you have in months. Their differences aren't barriers, they're accelerators. The balance of charm and courage, thought and action, diplomacy and directness creates a magnetic tension that fuels an unforgettable bond. The Aries woman is the spark in this friendship, unfiltered, alive, and wildly spontaneous. She's the one texting, "Let's go skydiving," on a random Tuesday or suggesting a cross-country road trip with zero planning. She brings heat and momentum into Libra's often carefully measured world. With her, there are no dull moments. She pushes him to take risks, to stop hesitating and just go. And Libra? He's not just along for the ride, he's the one making sure they don't fly off the cliff. His wit, grace, and uncanny emotional intelligence add layers of richness to their friendship. He brings thoughtful questions to her bold answers, and his calm presence grounds her when she's spinning at full speed. Together, they're a combination of energy and elegance. Aries brings fire, Libra brings flow. They love to talk, really talk. Long, meandering conversations that begin with pop culture and end in existential philosophy. Aries throws out big ideas, Libra helps her refine them. He's the kind of friend who listens deeply, then challenges her to think differently without ever making her feel wrong. She, in turn, teaches him the value of gut instinct, of acting on desire rather than deliberating until the moment is gone. Their friendship becomes a beautiful push-pull dynamic. She expands his world, and he gives her structure. One of the most beautiful things about this connection is that it doesn't need to be perfect to feel fulfilling. Aries is naturally dominant in most relationships. She speaks first, moves fast, and doesn't wait for permission. In many friendships, that intensity might overwhelm someone. But Libra, with his innate ability to flow around strong personalities, adapts without resentment. He's secure enough in himself to let her lead sometimes. He'll follow her into uncharted territory with curiosity, not ego. That doesn't mean he doesn't have boundaries. He does, but he's tactful about asserting them. When Libra feels respected, he'll give Aries all the room she needs to be exactly who she is. That mutual respect is key. If Aries bulldozes past his needs or assumes his silence equals agreement, friction can develop. Libra may withdraw, not with anger, but with quiet detachment, and that can create confusion for Aries, who values clarity. But when they maintain open communication, their bond only strengthens. They create a safe space for one another, one where honesty isn't punished, where differences are celebrated, and where ego takes a backseat to connection. Socially, they're an unstoppable duo. Both love people, events, new experiences. Aries thrives in the thrill of the new, while Libra shines in the glow of interpersonal harmony. They're the life of any gathering. She's the spark, and he's the charm. Aries might charge into a conversation with raw energy, and Libra will smooth the edges with a clever turn of phrase or a well-timed joke. They complement each other in ways that others admire and sometimes envy. People gravitate toward them, not just because of their chemistry, but because their dynamic is fun, exciting, and deeply authentic. But beyond the laughter, the late-night adventures, and the lively debates, their friendship is grounded in growth. Aries challenges Libra to stop second-guessing himself. She gives him permission to move faster, to be more impulsive, to trust his instincts. And Libra gives Aries the gift of reflection, helping her see beyond the moment, beyond the impulse, and into the long-term consequences of her actions. Together, they build each other up without ever trying to change who the other is. This friendship can absolutely stand the test of time, even if romance never enters the picture or fizzles out later. They have the kind of emotional intimacy that doesn't rely on physical attraction. It's built on understanding, laughter, shared adventures, and mutual elevation. Coffee catch-ups become philosophical deep dives. Casual hangouts morph into spontaneous road trips. There's a rhythm to their friendship that's hard to replicate elsewhere, part cosmic compatibility, part genuine curiosity about each other's world. Business compatibility, beauty meets brains. Can a Libra man and an Aries woman build a successful business together? Not only is it possible, it can be a powerhouse partnership when they understand how to harness their wildly different strengths. But make no mistake, this is not a default match made in corporate heaven. This is more like the merger of two forces of nature, each with their own agenda, their own style, and their own idea of what success looks like. If they can figure out how to blend those forces without canceling each other out, they don't just become co-workers, they become co-creators of something truly remarkable. The Aries woman is the spark, the starter, the visionary with zero chill and even less patience. She's the one walking into the room already 3 steps ahead of everyone else, pitching big ideas before anyone's had a chance to breathe. She's gutsy, instinct-driven, and utterly fearless when it comes to business decisions. To her, hesitation is just another form of failure. She's all about momentum, launch fast, adjust later, keep moving forward. Her confidence is magnetic, and when she believes in a project, she pours every ounce of herself into making it real. She's not afraid to cold call the biggest client on day one or walk out of a meeting that wastes her time. She's hustle incarnate. Enter the Libra man, the strategist, the brains behind the brand. He doesn't just want to build a business, he wants to build a business that's beautiful, sustainable, and socially intelligent. His mind is a chessboard, always weighing every move, every consequence, every stakeholder involved. While Aries is out pitching the vision, Libra is crafting the pitch deck, designing the client experience, and figuring out how to keep everyone, from investors to interns, on the same page. He's the guy who remembers to copyright the logo, proofread the contracts, and send the perfect thank you email after the meeting. He's the social glue, the brand whisperer, the one who makes everything look, sound, and feel like success. Together, this pairing becomes a paradox that works. Aries brings urgency, Libra brings elegance. She'll take the bold leap into new markets, and he'll ensure the landing is smooth and professional. She'll throw out 5 new product ideas in one lunch break, he'll quietly narrow them down to the one that will actually sell. He tempers her impulsiveness, she lights a fire under his tendency to overanalyze. When they trust each other's roles, they balance passion with polish, and that's rare in any business duo. But let's be real, that balance doesn't come automatically. There's friction, and if unchecked, it can burn down everything they're trying to build. Aries might see Libra's thoughtful decision-making as delay or indecisiveness. She wants answers yesterday, and if she senses he's stalling or over-discussing a topic, she may bypass him completely, making calls, signing deals, launching initiatives without his input. That kind of move might save time, but it chips away at Libra's sense of partnership. He needs to feel heard, valued, and consulted. When Aries bulldozes forward, she risks losing his investment, not just emotionally, but literally. He may pull back from active collaboration, choosing instead to work behind the scenes or worse, start looking for an exit strategy. Meanwhile, Libra's constant need to weigh every option can drive Aries up the wall. She thrives on risk, and when she senses hesitation, she hears doubt. And doubt, to an Aries, feels like betrayal. She may interpret his diplomacy as a lack of belief in her vision, or his tactful tone as talking down. If Libra tries to soften her delivery for the sake of client relations or workplace harmony, Aries could see it as him watering down her brilliance. So what's the solution? It's structure. Clear communication. Defined roles. And above all, mutual respect. They need to explicitly agree on who leads where. Aries should handle the marketing strategies, fast-turn decisions, creative direction, and anything that benefits from quick thinking and boldness. She's the brand's edge, the fearless face, the one who's not afraid to make noise and take up space. Libra, on the other hand, should be trusted with the long game, negotiations, client retention, brand storytelling, product refinement, and diplomacy. He knows how to finesse a deal, build long-term partnerships, and craft messaging that wins loyalty. He may not shout the loudest, but he's the one whose voice lingers in the room after the meeting ends. When they honor these roles and lean into each other's strengths, something incredible happens. Aries elevates Libra's strategies with action. Libra refines Aries's raw energy into a cohesive, irresistible vision. Together, they can outmaneuver slower, safer teams with a mix of gut instinct and polished execution. Final thoughts, can it work? The Libra man and Aries woman are, at first glance, a study in contradictions. He's calm, methodical, and driven by the pursuit of harmony. She's fiery, impulsive, and unapologetically direct. Where he floats through life with elegance and logic, she charges into it with raw power and instinct. They approach the world from completely different angles, and yet, somehow, those differences create a gravitational pull neither of them can resist. That's the paradox at the heart of their dynamic. They shouldn't work, but they might be exactly what each other needs. He brings grace, balance, and a kind of emotional diplomacy that turns tension into teachable moments. His calm doesn't mean passivity, it's emotional maturity, and it gives their relationship a center of gravity. He's not easily rattled, which is crucial when you're paired with someone as high-octane as Aries. She brings the grit, the fire, the unfiltered truth that cuts through noise and gets to the heart of any matter. She keeps the relationship from going stagnant. Her presence is an engine, driving, moving, insisting on forward momentum. She challenges Libra to make decisions, to stand firm, and to feel rather than just think. But it's not about one fixing the other. That's the mistake so many make when trying to decode these two. It's not about molding each other into better versions of themselves based on personal preference. It's about leaning into the friction, respecting the polarity, and realizing that sometimes, the best partner is the one who doesn't let you get too comfortable. Libra may teach Aries patience, but Aries teaches Libra courage. She disrupts his carefully curated calm with necessary honesty. He slows her down just enough to help her see the full picture before she acts. In that tension lies evolution. If they can embrace, not merely tolerate, their differences, what they can build together goes far beyond typical romance. This isn't a couple who does life passively. When they commit, they become active co-creators of their shared world. Their love can be chaotic, passionate, and emotionally intense, but also deeply rewarding. They push each other to grow, to show up more authentically, and to stretch beyond their emotional comfort zones. In a world of safe, predictable relationships, theirs is a fireworks show that doesn't burn out, it just changes shape. Their friendship is equally powerful. Even if the romantic side doesn't last forever, their emotional impact on one another lingers. Aries will never forget the Libra man who taught her to slow down and look inward. Libra will always carry the spark she lit inside him, the one that made him take more risks and trust his instincts. They leave fingerprints on each other's growth, and that's not something every pairing can claim. In business or creative collaborations, their dynamic becomes magnetic. Aries provides the fuel, Libra refines it into a flame that lights the way forward. They balance hustle with harmony, vision with execution. When they understand each other's language, when they communicate with respect and clarity, they don't just achieve success, they redefine what success looks like together. But let's be honest, it will take work. The very qualities that make them so compelling also make them high maintenance. Aries must learn to listen without needing to lead every time. Libra must speak up without fear of conflict. If they fall into patterns of dominance and withdrawal, they risk becoming emotionally mismatched. But if they commit to showing up, to evolving, and to staying curious about each other's inner worlds, they create something enduring, something that stands the test of time and change. So, can air and fire coexist? Absolutely. But only if they stop trying to smother or contain one another. Fire needs air to thrive, but too much air can blow it out, and too little can starve it. It's all about rhythm, respect, and conscious intention. If they can learn to dance with each other's flames instead of trying to tame them, they don't just work, they ignite. Enjoyed this journey through the stars? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and check out the next video to dive deeper into zodiac pairings that might surprise you. Got questions or your own Libra Aries experience? Drop it in the comments, let's keep the cosmic conversation going. And don't forget to follow our socials and check the description for more zodiac insights. See you in the stars.